Now, because of a rampant epidemic of adrenal problems, this is enormous. This has been enormous for decades. From in the US, people burn the candle at both ends. They're just constantly thinking, working on stuff. It's like they have a weekend and literally there are soccer moms and dads driving 3 kids all over Northern California or further to go to tournaments. And each of the kids has a different tournament in a different city, and they've got to figure a way to drive all of them. It's insanity. And this is not something that was the case 20, 30, 40 years ago. This is a very recent phenomenon. But in my practice, every week and pretty much daily, I see low sodium levels. And patients are often having symptoms from those low sodium levels. It's not just that, oh, look on your lab, but when I start asking them questions, they're having symptoms. No, symptoms of low sodium are orthostatic hypotension. Again, that's when you get dizzy when you stand up. Oftentimes unexplained nausea and some cognitive problems because you're not getting, in this case, enough blood to your brain. And so you'll have cognition issues. Now, most of my patients personally are chronically ill and middle-aged or older. I see very, very few healthy 25-year-olds. My wife sees those. Gabby sees them. The other people in my office get to see them. They're seeing sprained ankles and sore muscles and sore shoulders. My patients tend to be older. They're coming in for eye and vision problems. They're coming in for thyroid, diabetes, cardiovascular issues, et cetera. And so they're chronically ill, middle-aged. Most have had, they may not currently have, but have had very intense lifestyles. And they're kind of worn out. Literally, they're just worn out. And they're in a state that we commonly now call adrenal fatigue or adrenal exhaustion. Now, there are very, very good lab tests to determine adrenal fatigue and adrenal exhaustion. We do 2 tests in our clinic, hands-on tests to determine adrenal exhaustion, actually 3, to determine adrenal fatigue and adrenal exhaustion. But then we'll back that up by sending people to the lab and getting tested. And so they have worn out adrenals. Now, this problem has skyrocketed, absolutely crazy, off the wall, skyrocketed with the pandemic over the last few years. One of the things that happens in severe viral infection is that the adrenal glands get even more worn out. And we've known that very clearly since the 1918, 1919 flu epidemics, when they would do autopsies and find that people's adrenals were almost unidentifiable, that they'd been so used up. And that's because inner part of the adrenals, called the medulla, creates and supplies your body with your so-called stress hormones, epinephrine, norepinephrine, keep your heart beating, to move blood to your extremities, to fight the tiger that's attacking you. And then the adrenal cortex, which is the outer layer, is supplying your own hydrocortisone type of chemicals, which put out the fires in your body. It's like prednisone, which was really discovered and utilized based upon studies of the human adrenal glands. And so when your adrenals aren't putting out enough of those corticosteroids, you can take external, exogenous corticosteroids to kind of get you through the emergency. But this adrenal fatigue state is very problematic.